At Thanksgiving dinner, my aunt raised her glass and said, "Let's all pretend this is the first time we're hearing this." Everyone at the table went silent. My grandmother set down her fork. My mother's hand froze on her wine glass. My Aunt Marcy stood at the head of the table with tears in her eyes. She looked around the room at all 14 of us gathered for the holiday. My cousin Connor had just announced he was engaged to his girlfriend Jenna. Everyone had been clapping and smiling. Then Marcy stood up. "I have something to say about this engagement." She took a breath. "Something I should have said a long time ago." My Uncle Gary grabbed her wrist. "Marcy, don't do this. Not here." She pulled away from him. "I'm done protecting this family's secrets." Connor looked confused. "What's going on, Mom?" Marcy turned to face Jenna directly. "Honey, I'm not trying to hurt you, but I can't let my son marry you without telling him the truth." Jenna's face went pale. "What truth?" "Your father and I had an affair 20 years ago, when we were both still married to other people." The room erupted. My mother gasped. My grandmother clutched her chest. Connor stood up so fast his chair fell backward. "Mom, what the hell are you talking about?" Marcy was crying now. "Jenna's father Keith and I were together for almost 2 years. It ended before either of you were born, but there's more." Gary stood up. "That's enough. You're drunk." "I'm not drunk. I'm finally being honest." She turned back to Connor. "During that affair, I got pregnant." Everything stopped. I watched Connor's face change from confusion to horror as the math started clicking. "You're telling me Jenna is my half-sister?" Marcy shook her head. "No, Jenna isn't Keith's biological daughter. He adopted her after marrying her mother." Connor's shoulders dropped with relief. "Then why does any of this matter?" "Because Keith doesn't know that you're his son." The words hung in the air like a grenade. Connor stumbled backward into my uncle, who caught him by the shoulders. "Gary isn't your biological father." Marcy's voice was barely a whisper now. "Keith is. I found out I was pregnant right after the affair ended. I never told him." Connor looked at Gary. "The man who'd raised him, coached his little league team, taught him to drive." "Dad, is this true?" Gary's face crumbled. "I've known since you were 3. Blood test at the hospital when you got sick. I chose to stay because I love you. You're my son no matter what." Connor was shaking. "So Jenna's dad is actually my biological father? And nobody thought to tell me before I proposed to his daughter?" Marcy wiped her eyes. "Keith doesn't know. Her mother doesn't know. Only Gary and I knew. And I couldn't keep watching you plan this wedding knowing the truth." Jenna stood up slowly. Her face was blank, emotionless. She turned to Connor. "Did you know any of it?" "No. God, no. I had no idea." She nodded once, then looked at Marcy with ice in her eyes. "You waited until Thanksgiving dinner in front of 14 people to drop this bomb? You couldn't have called? Sent a text? Literally anything private?" Marcy started to respond, but Jenna cut her off. "My father is going to find out he has a biological son he never knew about. My mother is going to find out her husband had a 2-year affair. And you thought the best time to reveal this was over turkey and stuffing?" "I was trying to protect you both," Marcy stammered. "No." Jenna's voice was sharp. "You were trying to make yourself feel better. This was about your guilt, not our future." She grabbed her purse from the back of her chair. Connor reached for her hand. "Jenna, please, we can figure this out." She looked at him for a long moment. Then, her expression softened. "I know we can, but not here. Not like this." She walked toward the door, stopped, turned around. "For the record, I already knew about the affair. My mom told me years ago. I just didn't know about Connor being my dad's son." She looked directly at Marcy. "But I would have appreciated hearing it from literally anyone other than my future mother-in-law at a holiday dinner." She left. Connor grabbed his coat and followed her. The rest of us sat in silence, staring at our plates, while Marcy sobbed into her napkin. My grandmother finally spoke. She picked up the gravy boat and passed it to my mother. "More gravy, dear? This turkey is a little dry." We finished dinner without saying another word about it. Connor and Jenna eloped 3 months later and didn't invite Marcy.